Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for coming here today. It's beautiful to see some of the faces who come here year after year, again and again, and also the new faces who are here today. I want to thank you all for coming. You guys deserve a round of applause. Also, I want to thank all the volunteers who put this event together, all the volunteers working on every level, and especially our co-chairs who put this event together. They need a big round of applause as well. Great job. Thank you, Neil. Thank you to all of our sponsors. I want you guys, for just a moment, to go a little bit back in time and think about the types of headlines that you guys heard in the news, read in the newspapers about 40 years ago. I don't mean to date everyone here. But think about some of the headlines you read in the newspapers 40 years ago, or 30 years ago, or even 20 years ago. I want you to think now about the headlines that are making the newspapers today. Have you noticed how the news headlines that were making news back then barely make it to page 7 right now? What we're seeing these days, it seems that we're in a downward spiral. There's more economic issues, there's more violent crimes, more war, less kids graduating, kids aren't doing as good a job on the standardized tests, there's more teen pregnancy. A lot of these values have gone up. Everything that you've heard so far today, what you have yet to hear, is showcasing for you a program, one of the only organizations that has a shot at bending this curve and putting us back on the right track, fighting this downward spiral that we're going to. And the fact that we're facing all these challenges isn't for a lack of effort at combating them. You guys know that the government puts in stimulus money, creating new jobs, cracking down on crime and on drugs. There's agencies popping up to deal with hunger and poverty and all the issues that we're having. And all of these things are an important part of the puzzle, but it's not enough. Ladies and gentlemen, the only thing that will truly create change for us in our world is if we create an impact on people's belief system. Bear with me for a moment here. Think about a child in Brazil living in the favelas that we have in Brazil, some of the most impoverished areas there, to make even the most impoverished areas here look like Boca Raton. The kids living there, even though Brazil has been doing a lot better than us economically, they're going through a big boom economically right now. But despite that, the people living in those favelas, even though they're making more money, they're choosing to still live in that same lifestyle, in the same poverty, in the same communities with drugs and violence. How come? Because they're trapped in a belief system. Closer to home in Watts in Los Angeles, when I was just starting with SFK and I was volunteering, I was working as a property manager in some of the worst neighborhoods in Los Angeles. Speaking to the people there, they were telling me the people who were born in Watts, they grow up in Watts, get their jobs there, and they die in Watts, and they never leave. And that same belief system that their parents have, and the same consciousness, generation to generation. All over the United States, no matter how comprehensive this safe-sex education system we have, no matter how many services are offered by free clinics, there's still teen pregnancy stays high. Why? Because it is a young girl's belief system that in order to keep her boyfriend, she needs to have one of his babies. It's the belief system that we're combating here. And it all culminated with a story that's affected us all here in South Florida. And just a few weeks ago, a 23-year-old Johnny Sims got in a shootout with 4 police officers, killing 2 and injuring a 3rd before being shot dead. When Johnny Sims was 7 years old, he was a very promising child, always eager to please his teachers. He didn't get that attention in school, but he did find it eventually on the streets. Johnny was arrested for the first time at age 14 and 11 more times between the ages of 14 and 23 when he was finally shut down. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not simply a question of what is the government going to do or making sure that people have more money. It's about changing people's belief systems. The only real change is if we teach, if we give education, we teach social responsibility. And that's why SFK is working hard all around the world in changing children's belief systems to give them a bigger perspective, showing them that there's more than what they see at home. In Brazil, We are teaching kids that there is another option in staying in the favelas. In Israel, there is a program from Success for Kids to teaching kids creating peace, putting together Jewish kids who think that all Palestinian kids strap themselves with explosives, with Palestinian kids who think that all Jewish kids have horns, and putting them together, and they realize through a dialogue program that that's just another kid like me, and they visit each other, and they become good friends. In Malawi, setting the model for true sustainability instead of just band-aid solutions in this second poorest country in the world. And here locally, when I go from school to school and I hear kids, I see them changing before my eyes. I hear teachers tell me, thank goodness for SFK in the school, you changed my kids. When I speak to principals and they tell me that the parents are telling me, what have you done for my children? Why are they behaving so well? And I have to say it's because of SFK. One principal here told me that when I asked her, what's the biggest change you've seen since we brought SFK to your school? And she said, I have a lot less kids in my office. And that was music to my ears. So here today we also have an amazing child. Her name is Haley Moss. When Haley was young, she was diagnosed with autism. And if you look at Haley's art, there's a little section in the other room over there where Haley's artwork was on display. Haley is a young lady who's already making beautiful artwork and writing books, and not only that, but instead of just keeping the money from artwork for herself, she goes and she supports other charities like she's supporting SFK today. So what's the difference between Johnny Sims and Haley Moss? The difference is that despite Haley's challenges that she was born with, someone believed in her potential, in her goodness, and so she believed in herself. Nobody was there to encourage little Johnny Sims. So we used to see the problems with drugs and violence and early pregnancy in high school, and we created high school intervention programs. And it came earlier and earlier now in middle school, and we have middle school intervention programs. SFK goes to the root level, reaching children before they get into trouble, before that they're labeled as bad and believe they're bad, before they believe that they can't do something, before they think that they're not enough, before it's too late. By coming here today, what you guys are doing is you're telling one of these children that you believe in them. You believe in their unlimited potential, in their goodness, in their gifts, and their talents. And these children that you believe in today will be running their nation in 10 or 15 or 20 years. And by believing in them today, by supporting them today, together we have a chance at bending that curve, at changing that spiral, and changing those headlines that we see in the newspaper. So I would like to honor two of the fine ladies who are in the audience today for their outstanding work with SFK. I want to introduce them because of all the work that they've been doing. First of all, receiving today our Outstanding Community Leader Award is Dr. Laura Skelchuk. Dr. Skelchuk's life work has been in health and dermatology. She graduated summa cum laude in Arizona State University and with honors from the University of Arizona College of Medicine. And she completed her residency at the University of California in San Diego Medical School. She then moved to Oakland, California. She worked at Kaiser Permanente and taught dermatology residents at UC San Francisco General Hospital, both of them being inner-city tertiary care centers. She was also the editor-in-chief for Skincare Today, the first ever nationally distributed dermatology patient education publication, and the medical director of Vanishing Point Medical Group, the first national laser hair removal company in the 90s. She moved to South Florida in 2001 and opened her energetically based sacred healing space, Integrative Dermatology, right here in Boca Raton in 2007. But the reason I'm calling her up today is because for the past few years, since we had our inaugural Children's Benefit Luncheon for Success for Kids in Boca Raton, she has been an ongoing and outstanding supporter of SFK and ensuring that the children of Palm Beach County are going to be off to a good start. So please help me honor Dr. Laura Skelchuk.
first time I met Dr. Laura, I went into her office, her dermatology office, and I saw that her entire outer office was filled with books on spirituality. And then when I met her, I was very pleased to find out that she was very interested in being part of our SFK event. Way beyond any dreams that I might have had. She has supported us tremendously. Not only that, but she has also been doing something that I found out about recently that will help with all the future children that SFK is involved with the commitment that she has made that will long be remembered. So I'm very proud to have her as my friend and as my doctor. Three cheers to Dr. Laura.
Thank you very much. I just have to tell you just a little bit of background. My parents were the ones who told me, you can do anything you want. My dad never, he just sort of gave me free rein and supported me. My mother was the person who demonstrated very concretely that the only way you were able to receive is if you have your hands open and you're giving to other people. And she always supported me, even those times when I was in the principal's office, and it happened quite often in junior high. She would come and say, well, you know what, if you were challenging her, she wouldn't be bored, she wouldn't be talking in class, she wouldn't be misbehaving. So even when I got in trouble, she still supported me. So I learned early on that I sort of was responsible for my own reality. And I definitely believe we are all directly connected into the field where we are all, there is no separation between any of us. And so the universe always has my back. Because of my situation, I had a lot of people coming to me asking me to donate, and I was doing a lot of different things. And I realized when I was doing my taxes one year that I really needed to sort of find my charity. And 10 days later, Rhoda walks into my office. That's how I work the universe. So, thank you very much for this time.